A common occurrence in even long-term eating disorders is that your labs or blood work is often in perfectly normal ranges until it might be too late to do much about it. Find out why that can be a problem and what to do about it in this short video. Your doctor said everything looked perfect. So what? You can't rely on a quick doctor's visit to tell you if you have a problem with your eating. Very rarely is there objective, visible signs of an eating disorder. Not having visible signs doesn't mean that you're not struggling or that you're not doing harm to your body and mind. Hi, I'm registered dietitian Libby Parker, and in my practice, I've seen hundreds of people with eating disorders and looked at a lot of lab numbers over the years. Most of these labs look perfect, but that's not the whole picture. For example, a client of mine had been taking ridiculous amounts of laxatives almost every day for months, in addition to restricting. And her labs looked great. If that was the only information that you had about her, you'd think nothing was wrong, despite being stuck in the depths of an eating disorder for about 10 years. Most people who are walking around with eating disorders have perfect blood work, are at a normal weight, and are at war with the eating disorder voice in their head all day long. It's an invisible disease for many. If any of that sounds like you, please click the subscribe button to get weekly videos about eating disorder recovery and why fad diets don't work. Okay, despite lab values rarely showing issues, we do want to be checking them on a regular basis to be aware if things are going downhill rapidly. So let's go over some of the common labs we want to be checking and what tends to show up first as red flags. So labs I typically like to see ordered are CBC, CMP, a thyroid panel, magnesium, phosphorus, vitamin D, and potentially vitamin B12, a urinalysis, or an EKG to check your heart. So typical first lab issues I've seen are liver function tests, which are AST and ALT. So these are some of the first labs that I see being out of whack in anorexia specifically. In those that purge by vomiting or laxatives, serum bicarb can get thrown out of balance as the body struggles to maintain the correct pH in the blood and body fluids. Not to mention the damage that stomach acid can do on the esophagus and the mouth. This might be something that your dentist is actually going to be the first person to call you out on. Additionally, thyroid hormones might be off either high or low during an eating disorder, and often they resolve with recovery. So something that rarely looks bad for all you medical people out there is albumin. Albumin rarely drops below normal, even in long-term anorexia. So don't wait for this to change to notice a problem with malnutrition. In addition to blood work, it's important to have your vital signs checked regularly. Resting heart rate and blood pressure. Blood pressure should be checked from lying down to sitting to standing, and a big drop in blood pressure is called orthostatic hypotension and is caused by your body not being able to maintain blood around your brain, which is a necessary thing, at the normal rate. This causes you to feel dizzy or faint when you stand up. If you're feeling these things, please go get checked out. Heart rate is also an often early indicator of issues in anorexia specifically. As the body is undernourished, heart rate slows down to conserve energy, and your heart literally can't spare an extra beat as there's not enough calories. This shows up as low heart rate. Many people brush this off as, I'm an athlete, that's why my heart rate is so low, but it's really a different thing. Too low of heart rate for malnourishment can be a ticking time bomb for the heart to stop completely. This is called sudden cardiac death and is the leading cause of death in anorexia and any psychiatric illness. Please notice if your eating habits are causing issues. You shouldn't have to lean on food for comfort or coping, whether it's too much or too little, or you feel you have to get rid of what you eat with purging, exercise, or pills. You don't have to look sick to be suffering. You don't have to show outward signs to seek help. If you're unsure of how to bring up your disordered eating with your healthcare providers, be it a doctor, therapist, dietitian, or other, check out the description below for a handy one-page form that I made for you that you can tailor for your issues and use as talking points. Or if you're feeling particularly nervous, you can fill it out and hand it to your provider. You deserve to live a life free of being controlled by food.